Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. Big news coming out of Cardinals training camp today as Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker that was picked with the 8th pick in the NFL draft a few years ago, has now made the official switch to the cornerback position. In today's video, I'm going to be touching upon it a little bit, and I'm going to be answering the question, can Isaiah Simmons successfully make the switch to cornerback full-time? First and foremost, I know a lot of Cardinals fans are going to be in my comment section saying, hey, he kind of already does play cornerback for the most part, and they are somewhat true in saying that. Let me read you off the snap count for Isaiah Simmons last year by position. 409 snaps last year at slot cornerback, which was by far the most amount of snaps he even took last year. So last year, for the most part, when he was on the field, he was already a slot cornerback. Box outside linebacker came in second at 297 snaps. Defensive line / edge came in at third at 110 snaps. Free safety came in at fourth, which 53 snaps. And then last was outside cornerback with 28 snaps. Now, I think we will see much less defensive line and edge snaps, much less free safety snaps, much less linebacker snaps, more outside corner snaps. And for the most part, he will be playing slot cornerback in this Jonathan Gannon, Vic Fangio cover 4 defense where they're going to be playing quarters the majority of the time. So that means Isaiah Simmons, for the most part, will be getting 1/4 of the field going up vertically, or he will be playing in the flats. Now, I'll be honest, in my opinion, his best work comes over the middle of the field when he can be a coverage linebacker over the middle of the field. The best example of this in his NFL career so far is that Saints game, where in that Saints game, he had that highlight reel interception, and that, of course, came over the middle of the field when he was playing zone in the middle of the field. The thing is about Isaiah Simmons, from a physical talent perspective, can he keep up with receivers at the NFL level? Absolutely. Of course, his athletic profile is absolutely incredible. He's a very strong guy, and he's extremely fast. In fact, he's fast enough to keep up with anybody out on the football field. My main issue, and the reason why I do not think he will be a successful outside cornerback, is because he's such a big body out there. And by having such a big body and a big frame for a guy his size trying to play outside cornerback, quite simply from a physical perspective, he cannot turn his hips like a normal size corner, and that hip movement and being able to flip your hips to the correct position on the field, to the correct position to the receiver, is really the most vital part of playing cornerback in the NFL, having your head on a swivel and having your hips on a swivel. And that's something that Isaiah Simmons quite simply cannot do because of how big he is. So to answer the initial question, no, I do not think he could play outside cornerback, but I think the more juicy question to this video is, can he play slot cornerback successfully? Now, at times last year, he looked really good doing so, but he was not injured last year, and he did not start every single game for us. In fact, he only started about half of the season because Vance Joseph was just straight up extremely frustrated with Isaiah Simmons at points in the season. Isaiah Simmons is a guy who has pretty solid instincts. He has a pretty solid reaction time as well. The issue with Isaiah Simmons his entire career is that he has not been able to read an offense whatsoever. Not only that, he just does not have good zone instincts, and in man coverage, again, he's just such a big body, so he cannot turn his head around and his hips around in time. And then again, those zone instincts simply aren't there. And Isaiah Simmons was in basically the same defense for 3 years, and he wasn't able to grasp the playbook. So do I think he will be able to grasp the playbook going into next season with a new defensive scheme? I'll be completely honest, I don't. Now, it is a positive that last year, out of all 3 years, he had by far his best PFF grade, not only overall, but in coverage as well. Overall, he had a 67.9 PFF grade, which is pretty solid, and I think it was pretty premature to bench him last year. So I am still an Isaiah Simmons believer, but do I think he puts it all together in year 4? I honestly don't. in my opinion, I think he'll probably be off the Cardinals this time next season just because he won't show enough growth year one in the system to justify a big contract. And I think another team is going to swoop in and try to hit on the upside. Same exact thing really that happened to Hassan Reddick, now at completely different positions. They went from a linebacker to an edge player for Hassan Reddick, whereas Isaiah Simmons is trying to go from a linebacker to a corner. But quite simply, Hassan Reddick had a good year 4 in our system, just like I think Isaiah Simmons is, but he didn't have a good enough year to justify a big contract. Next thing you know, Hassan Reddick absolutely burns us and is a really good player for the Eagles now. So hopefully as a Cardinals fan, I hope that doesn't happen with Isaiah Simmons. Thanks for listening, guys. Just wanted to give my short thoughts on Isaiah Simmons making the full-time move to cornerback, and I apologize for the lack of highlights for Isaiah Simmons. It's damn near impossible to find Isaiah Simmons highlights in the NFL. But again, thanks for listening, guys.